Charles Lefkowitz, Chairman of the Suffolk County Water Authority. Suffolk County Executive Steve Ballone. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as we welcome the 57th Governor of the great state of New York, Governor Kathy Hochul.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Well, we're here to talk about water. Let's talk about water. I think this is one of those resources that we take for granted, correct? Just like air, you don't think about it, it's always there. Water is always there and it's always clean until it's not. And that's what we're fighting against. We are going to be announcing extraordinary resources because we know how essential that water is to our lives. It makes up 60% of our own bodies. It keeps us alive. And if we don't protect our water systems, then we're putting our communities at risk. So today I'm here to announce a transformative investment in clean water right here on Long Island and across the state of New York. And I want to acknowledge some extraordinary partners on this journey. You have been blessed for many years to have had one of the finest county executives our state has ever seen in Steve Ballone. I want to thank him for his friendship to me personally, your tenacity and fighting for these dollars to come to Suffolk County and for all the work that you've done. So I want to thank you for your leadership. Charles Lefkowitz, we're in your house, the chair of the Suffolk County Water Authority. We've been here before with other great announcements, but thank you. The responsibility that you have is extraordinary, and we don't take that for granted, so thank you. Adrian Esposito, we've worked together since my lieutenant governor days, and I spent a lot of time out here, and you talk to me nonstop about how you are so passionate about the environment here, and we are blessed to have you as a champion advocate. No, she's one of a kind. She's one of a kind. Robert Rodriguez, our Secretary of State. See here? Must be on the road. He's coming, right? Maureen Coleman here, President and CEO of the Environmental Facilities Corporation. Maureen, thank you for all you do. Our Commissioner of Health has come. We're talking about health here, keeping people healthy with clean water. I want to thank James McDonald for being here as well. Mark Schroeder, our Commissioner of DMV. I noticed there's a facility not too far from here, Mark. I'm sure you're checking in on it while you're here. I used to run DMVs. I ran 7 of them as a county clerk, so always important to make sure that's right. Kevin Law has joined us, our chair of the Empire State Development. Thank you, Kevin. Also, incoming County Executive Ed Romaine. I want to thank him for his service as chair of Brookhaven, but also ascending to this position. Look forward to working closely with you, Ed. Looking forward to a great partnership. My partners in local government, but also my partners in state government, who I understand were recognized. But thank all of you for standing in support of this, which is the result of an amazing record-setting amount of money we secured in the Bond Act, but I'll get to that in a couple of minutes. But, you know, I've been to Long Island literally hundreds of times. I keep track. I know the miles. I know the potholes that used to exist, okay? The former potholes. Because whenever we come out here, we're talking about the Islanders. We're talking about property taxes. I have nothing to do with your property taxes. Because I was in local government a long time. But also we talk about infrastructure. And I was dead set when I came out here and was appalled by the potholes on our major roads out here. And if you go along the LIE in the southern state now, hopefully your teeth are intact. You don't worry about losing any fillings anymore. Your tires are good. You're going to be okay. So I believe in this. I mean, this is what comes from being a local official for 14 years of my life. It was some of the most rewarding work I ever did because you could very quickly change people's lives by making quick decisions and not have to go through all of everybody in Congress or an entire legislature. No offense to my friends. You could just get things done and solve problems. And so I still have that mentality of how we can break down barriers and get things done. So I get excited about filling potholes. I get excited about things like sewer and water quality. And it's just like I said, mentioned the air. We take it for granted. But for people who want to live here and raise their families here and have businesses here, we have to guarantee some basic foundational precepts here. One is clean air, one is clean water. And if you act as if they're always going to be like that, you only need to step back into history not long ago from a place that Mark Short and I come from, Western New York. And I am seared at the knowledge, and he knows exactly when I describe this, what I'm talking about. We thought in Western New York, near the steel plant where I grew up, that the sky was supposed to be orange. It was you drove over the Father Baker Bridge in a cloud of smoke coming out of the steel plant, the smokestacks. You would not dream of going in Lake Erie, because my parents didn't know any better. And we swam in Lake Erie as children, even though in the distance you could see this molten lava substance being discharged into it every single day. It's amazing I'm still alive when I think about that. It truly is. But people didn't know any better. You know, there were 20,000 jobs. No one questioned it. I mean, this is progress. Until we destroyed one of the Great Lakes, one of the great freshwater bodies on this earth, Lake Erie. The air was contaminated. You couldn't breathe it. People got really sick. People got really sick. So coming out of that background, knowing that by itself, water and air do not take care of themselves, especially when there's an assault by mankind. Sorry, men, but it was mankind that ran all those businesses. You can make up for it now. And even in our more recent times, Flint, Michigan. I mean, that image is what keeps a lot of local elected officials up at night, you know, knowing to make sure that can never, ever happen. And when you think about Long Island, you know, 3/4 of the homes here aren't sewered. Wastewater seeps into the ground. And I've talked to our county executive and Adrian about this for many, many years. And you know, even now, too many communities struggle with harmful contaminants, PFAS and 1,4-dioxane in the drinking water. And also, think about when our kids are drinking, what comes out of the tap, but the marine life around here, the shellfish, the whole ecosystem. This is it is an island, everybody, we know this. We're surrounded by water, but living in that water is part of our identity, our heritage here. People earn their livelihoods off the water, and now we have offshore wind, bringing new light and energy to this whole ecosystem. So we can talk about the impacts of climate change as well. My gosh, we're all still, he did show up, he got off the road, our Secretary of State, Robert Rodriguez. He travels as much as I did as Lieutenant Governor. The effects of climate change, my friends, I do not need to say one word other than Sandy to all of you. And we know what happens. And the extreme weather, which is no longer extreme, it is so normalized now that I come to expect that I wake up every day like, what happened overnight? We literally had an earthquake 2 nights ago. You know, we had the worst air quality in the world in New York City and Syracuse this summer. We had the hottest summer, the coldest extremes, we had the worst blizzards, all in a 12-month period. So I literally wake up when they call me and say, are the locusts here yet? Have they arrived? I'm waiting for the locusts, because that's got to be next. So we're dealing with so much. We're dealing with so much. But leadership is required now. People will step up and say, no, it doesn't have to be that way. Just like we were able to clean up Lake Erie, and it is so beautiful right now. I literally was swimming in it without any fear just a few months ago in the summertime. The air is magnificent. We can make those changes if we're intentional and resolve to make sure that this earth is a better place, a cleaner place, a healthier place when we leave it. And that's what this is all about. So we're going to keep building up our resiliency. We're going to keep focusing on our priorities and talk about what we can do here today. And this is going to be an extraordinary opportunity. When I first became governor, August of 2021, I had to speak during Climate Week. And Julie was there, right, Julie? What am I going to announce for Climate Week? I knew that we had a bond act that was about $3 billion. I said, no, where I come from, we go bigger, we go home. I raised it to $4.2 billion because I knew the need was so great to be able to invest in clean air, clean water, and green jobs. So we got that over the finish line. So now, as a result, there are $4.2 billion available to do the projects that people only dreamed about. If we didn't have that bond act, and thank you again to our legislators, if we didn't have that bond act, it would take decades for us to have the resources to make these investments. But you know what? We don't have decades because climate change is with us right now, and I have said this many times. We are the first generation to truly feel the effects of climate change, and we are the last one to be able to do anything about it. That's what we're announcing here today, is making these investments and making sure that we do what's smart. So we're announcing a $479 million investment in clean water infrastructure here today. That's for municipal wastewater and sewer and drinking systems, all those things people in this room get excited about. 156 critical projects across the state, and $30 million to support septic system replacements. Suffolk County, what are you going to get out of this? Why are we here? You're one of the top winners here. I know I'm for you. Now maybe don't let this get out, but yeah, 20 million from that $30 million septic program. Two-thirds of the total amount is going to this county alone. So keep that one quiet. And that'll help over 2,000 homeowners with failing septic systems and businesses and cesspools that impair the water quality, and many more thousands of neighbors will benefit from. $17 million is going to Suffolk County to protect the drinking water from emerging contaminants. So you can work on that as well. There you go, 17 million. And that's already on top of a $500 million we've already made as investments in the last couple of years for projects like these. And so we're going to keep expanding our sewers, making sure they're safe and healthy, make sure we have safe drinking water. And as I said, this is the first money going out the door, this pot of money, the first money going out as a result of the environmental community, the advocates, and so many individuals and our legislators stepping up to do what's right. So I feel good. I feel good. We're making progress. This is a great day for the people of this county and the people of this state. And we also have to make sure that we're continuing to focus on vulnerable populations. People can't speak for themselves. It's our responsibility, and make sure that we're there for them. So it's an investment in our environment. It's an investment in justice, and it's environment in our future. It's an investment in our future for all of our children. So I also like one more element of this, is that we're calculating that it'll create 24,000 jobs. 24,000 jobs. And the labor unions, the labor community, Maddie Arsich is here too, and our friends from labor on here on Long Island will create 24,000 jobs statewide, from engineers to pipe fitters. And so, and last but not least, to our ratepayers, this will save $1.3 billion each year. Infrastructure investments will save the ratepayers. $33 million in savings right here in Suffolk County by itself. That's pretty darn good. 33. You bet you're heading out the door. Ed's going to be able to benefit from that, right? It is. We'll do something good for you too, Ed. But there's any magic on this planet, it's in our water. If there's any magic, and that was said by a famous anthropologist, Lauren Isley. But if we're not proactive, if we're not intentional, if we're not forward-thinking, if we're not displaying the boldness requires moment, then we are at risk of losing that magic. And we have a moral responsibility here. And I thank everyone in this room for making sure that we step up and answer the call to do what's right. I think that future generations will not look back and say, what were you thinking? Like I look back to the generation that I grew up in, saying, how could you let this happen? They'll look back at us with gratitude. And I think that's what we're talking about here today. So I want to thank everybody. I want to bring up our county executive. Thank you for being part of this great announcement, everyone.
Governor, thank you so much. This is an incredible gift just in time for the holiday season. We really appreciate it, and I'm grateful that you've gotten it in just in time, because a few more weeks, I wouldn't be here. So thank you very much. It is great to be here with everybody. It is always, as she mentioned, she's been here many times, and it is always great to welcome Governor Hochul back to Suffolk County, back to Long Island, because for us, we know what that means. It means, once again, she's here to deliver good news for Long Island, that she's delivering great things for us, whether you're talking about the environment or economic development or public safety or infrastructure or storm response, all of these things and more. Governor Hochul has consistently been delivering on the things that matter most to us on Long Island. Governor, thank you for everything you've done. I can say with great confidence that at the top of that list of things that matter to us the most is clean water. There is no doubt that there is nothing more important to Suffolk County's future than addressing the water quality crisis that we face in this county. We have, as the governor mentioned, we have 360,000 homes and businesses that operate on old septics and cesspools, sitting above, by the way, as you know here very well, a sole source aquifer with 1.5 million people. That is a recipe for exactly what has happened to our water here. In response, we launched the Reclaim Our Water initiative, and we declared nitrogen public water enemy #1. We worked with all the key stakeholders who are here in this room, an environmental, labor, and business community, to develop a science-based plan to reverse the decades of decline that we have seen in water quality, and that plan was unanimously adopted by the Suffolk County Legislature, which, by the way, does not happen all the time, I can tell you. Ed, just to let you know. You are a legislator, so you are well aware. Thank you to Presiding Officer McCaffrey, Minority Leader Richburg, all of my colleagues who are here, who were introduced. Thank them for their leadership. We launched the largest investments in sewer infrastructure in this county in more than 4 decades, with state funding and with federal funding, and our thanks to Senator Chuck Schumer and our congressional delegation. And we also created, as the governor mentioned, the first of its kind septic improvement grant program, first of its kind in the state, that is designed to help homeowners install clean water septics to address this great challenge we face. And now, thanks to Governor Hochul, the county will have the funding in place to help homeowners install clean water septics in 2024 and in 2025. Governor, thank you so much for that. This is along with the $10 million already approved by the legislature. Thank you again to my colleagues. This funding will ensure that the clean water septic industry that we have helped to develop and grow here, all the stakeholders here, will be able to continue to thrive while efforts continue to implement the 2 components necessary to solve the water quality crisis here over the next generation: the Countywide Wastewater Management District and the Water Quality Restoration Fund. This is an exciting moment. As the governor said, this is an exciting moment because we can see the pathway to solving this crisis before us. We're here because of the leadership of Governor Hochul and the hard work of so many here. I want to thank the environmental community. You'll hear from Adrian Esposito, of course, but Kevin McDonald, Bob DeLuca, so many others who are here. Labor, John Durso, Ryan Stanton, Matt Arasich, thank you for your leadership. Our business leaders, Mike Florio, Kyle Strober, Matt Cohen, Mark Herbst, leading our contractors. Thank you for your leadership. I want to thank Suffolk County's water quality team, Sarah Lansdale, our Economic Development Commissioner, Christina Capabianco, Walt DeWittiak, and so many others. And particularly, there's one person, Governor, that I have to recognize and name who has led our efforts here. He is called our water quality czar, Peter Scully. Peter, thank you for your great, great work. And finally, my thanks again to my partners in the Suffolk County Legislature. The fight for clean water has always been a bipartisan effort here. And we have reached this point because people of good faith from both sides of the aisle recognize the importance of this issue to all of our families and all of our communities here in Suffolk County. And I have also known and I have worked closely with the incoming county executive. I called him county executive-elect. I think he still prefers supervisor right now. But we have worked closely over the years, and I have watched him over the years. And I know, and the people in this room know, that he has championed environmental causes throughout his career. And so today, with this announcement from the governor, I have strong faith that working in partnership with the legislature, that he will see this through and that we will solve this crisis that means so much to all of our families and our communities here. So again, Governor, thank you. You have given a great gift this holiday season to the people of Suffolk County. God bless you. Thank you. And with that, I want to bring up, we are in the home of the Suffolk County Water Authority. I want to thank Jeff Szabo, of course, and the board, and Charlie Lefkowitz.
Thank you.
Great leader. Thank you very much, Charlie.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Charlie Lefkowitz. I'm chairman of the Suffolk County Water Authority, and I just want to thank everyone for being here, and on behalf of our 1.2 million customers, welcome Governor Hochul to a beautiful educational center here, and we really welcome you. And anytime you bring money like that, and any other elected officials, certainly come here. This place is tremendous. I want to thank Jeff Szabo, our executive director, the elected officials that are here to support this very important announcement of funding. But what we do in the Suffolk County Water Authority, and we do it well, is we provide clean, affordable drinking water. And I have some fellow colleagues on the board. I see former Congressman Tim Bishop here. Thank you. And board member John Porsche III, somewhere here. Thank you for being here. And to outgoing County Executive Steve Bellone, we have stand at the podium wearing different hats, doing different duties, but best of luck, and we enjoyed working with you the last 12 years. And to incoming County Executive Ed Romaine, we look forward to working with you in lots of different capacities like we did. And I see my two environmental czars here, Steve Engelbright and Peter Scully. Just thank you for all you do, and look forward to working with both of you. You know, just, you don't see it in this building, but also in the back of this building is our laboratory. And that laboratory, every single day, tests hundreds and hundreds of water samples. We just don't try to meet the standards. We try to exceed those standards. So emerging contaminants, the 1,4-dioxane and PFAS, are really taxing on our system. And I'll tell you, everything we do has to come down to delivering clean, quality drinking water. And we at Suffolk County Water Authority will do outreach from Orient to Huntington, from Montauk to Amityville. We are here to provide that service of clean, quality drinking water. This announcement today is historic. It's historic that the sewer projects, the septics that contaminate and get into our bays and streams and harbors, we can finally address it. And it was said earlier, this is the generation that will have to make the difference. And we look at some of these large infrastructure projects that we're working on, sewer projects, the electrification of the Long Island Railroad on the Port Jeff branch. These are projects that when they look back 100, 150 years, and none of us in this room are here, they're going to say, you know what, that group of people, they really did the right way. Clean drinking water is a constitutional right. It is a nonpartisan issue. And I just, again, want to thank the governor for all that you're doing, and look forward to working with all the elected officials, our friends from Labor, and our Albany contingency. Suffolk County Water is so proud of leading this industry and all the support that we have, Governor. Thank you very much. Last but not least.
I'm the cleanup batter. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Adrienne Esposito, Executive Director of Citizens Campaign for the Environment. Well, Governor Hochul, nothing says happy holidays like the gift of clean water. Long Islanders, we love our beaches, bays, harbors, streams, and rivers. And because of that, we know we need to be good stewards of these precious resources. And that's why we're so thankful when the state provides funding to help us and aid us significantly with that stewardship responsibility. Look, on Long Island, as Long Islanders, we know what the term 1,4-dioxane and PFAS means in our drinking water, for better or for worse. We know that they're contaminants, we know that they're toxics, and we know they need to get cleaned up. We also know the technology is rather expensive. So the grants that the state provides us not only gives us clean water, but it keeps drinking water affordable for everybody, because drinking water is a necessity, not a luxury item. Also, funding that's used for sewer infrastructure upgrades is also important. Take the village of Hempstead, which is getting a $5 million grant. Their village infrastructure is 100 years old, as many other areas across Long Island. It's crumbling. So that funding will help them avoid problems. What kind of problems? Well, you know, as we're fixing the potholes, now we worry about sinkholes here on Long Island. And we don't want to be known as the sinkhole capital of the world. So in order to avoid sinkholes, we need to fix that sewer infrastructure. It used to be out of sight, out of mind, but not anymore. Now it's in the front of our mind, and we're addressing the issue. You know, it takes three important things to address our clean water needs. It takes time, money, and political courage. And maybe Governor Hochul can't grant us more time, but she sure has granted us money and demonstrated political courage and political will to address this issue. And we really want to thank you for that, Governor. And last, I have to put a special thank you in for not only the $20 million for Suffolk County to continue the septic replacement program, which many of us have worked so hard on, but Nassau County is also getting a $2 million grant to continue their septic replacement program. And those replacement programs are really at the heart of the Long Island Nitrogen Plan being done by the DEC, the EPA's Long Island Sound Nitrogen Reduction Plan, and so many of the programs that we've all been crafting and involved in for almost a decade now. So again, thank you so much for everybody for the bipartisan partnership. Supervisor, we look forward to working with you in your new capacity and partnership. And Supervisor and County Executive Balone, I do want to say on behalf of the environmental community, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for your partnership, your work, and your courage over the last 12 years. We do appreciate it, and it has lots of meaning and legacy. Thank you again, Governor Hochul. Come anytime. Thank you.